Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead Q&A video for today. We have exactly 5 weeks until the premiere. Still 35 days. Damn, I'm counting them down. This one, I'll start with giving my thoughts on a character spotlight for Tara and the MadTV sort of Negan skit. It's pretty fun. Oh man, getting so excited for the return for season 7 and also for the finale for Fear. It's all good stuff. Oh man, there's so much stuff on right now. You guys have been asking me like, Trev, you should review The Strain every week, Mr. Robot every week, and all this stuff. Z Nation every week, and Fear the Walking Dead. It's like, I do the best I can, guys, but there's just a ton of stuff going on. So this question was from Dylan C, and he says, hey Trev, Q&A for you. Do you think hearing about Denise and whomever takes the Lucilling could possibly leave Tara in a mind state where she will no longer want to live? Great videos, and as always, keep them up. So that is true that we should be seeing some good stuff with Tara this season. We know that her and Heath are going to get their own kind of flashback episode, which should be good, or at least flashback to the time when, of course, the actress Alana Masterson was pregnant and everything, and she wasn't in the show. She went on this journey, so to speak, this run, so to speak, to get her off so that it wouldn't be noticeable that she's, sizing up and everything. Well, it may have been written in anyway. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But it probably was, to be honest. But yeah, so she's going to be coming back, of course, and it should be good to see. She's got a lot of pretty hardcore fans and stuff like that. And I do like Tara as a character because she comes from a unique walk of life that none of her other characters do, which is that she was part of the Governor storyline, and she's the last surviving character from that season 4 Governor kind of story arc where he has, the first group that he meets, and then going on from there. So you have like her dad and her sister and everything that's going on, and then of course they join with the other group, and then the governor uses that group, of course, to attack at the prison. Thinking way back now, she's the only character still alive from that whole story arc with the governor, because of course the governor, of course, at this point has been dead for a while, and unless we see a hallucination, of course, he's dead and gone, and that's way in the past. But it's cool to have characters, I think, that survive from different parts of the story, that came in at different story arcs and actually survived through. So she actually may be a long-term survivor. She may be a character that could be in the show for a few more seasons, maybe like 3 more seasons, 2 more seasons, something like that at the very least. Coming in season 4, this will be her 3rd season in the show. 4, 5, 6. Well, I guess 4th season if you're counting her debut season. So yeah, it should be good. I'm excited to see. I love at the end how she's got the this season's Daryl promo, whereas last year in season 6 we had Daryl and Dwight in the first kind of face-off between them, and that was very important to the story, of course. This season she gets one. She's one of the spotlight characters for that. So maybe getting her own villain or something like that with this other new group that could possibly be there. And then of course with the pictures that were released, maybe her going on a run in the second half of season 7. It should be good. Yeah, it's kind of filler for the comic book series. Like, it's not stuff that's in the comic book series because, of course, she is not a character in the comic book series directly. There's a savior named Tara who doesn't really look that much like her, but she may also be a lesbian. I don't know. But she's going to be crushed when when she hears about Denise, of course. However, if you think about it, she's been through this kind of thing before. She's lost her whole family. She's been traumatized and sat there, and then Glenn helps her kind of come back to her senses and, and return everything. So, I think that she's a great character, and I'm excited to see what they do with her this season. Enjoy seeing her, as always, in the show. And I think maybe she could be. Maybe a few more seasons. We'll see what they decide to do with her. So, also, The Walking Dead, you guys can write your comments below on what you think about Tara, how you feel about her as a character. Do you want to see her be killed off? Do you want to see her get depressed and try to hang herself and commit suicide or something, and then maybe fail and maybe survive? I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that. Actually, that actually might be a nice remix or something. But yeah, I think she'll survive for at least a few more seasons, I'm thinking. So it's just my thoughts. Could be totally wrong, of course, as always. You guys know how it is. Just prediction stuff. Nothing spoilery here. I don't have any inside info anymore than you guys have. In fact, I have less than a lot of you guys because I try not to look at spoilers too much nowadays, because once we found out AMC hates people who are into that, I'm like, okay, I guess I won't look too much. Greg Nicotero, thanks for ruining the show. Maybe we shouldn't look. Okay, cool. All right, next one is that The Walking Dead Season 6 has hit on Netflix. So if any of you guys haven't bought it yet on DVD or Blu-ray, you can check it out on Netflix for free. You can always sign up for a free Netflix trial and that. So that's kind of cool. Me personally, I think I still have a Netflix? They might still be charging me, and I haven't signed in like 3 months. I better check that. So, yeah, but, I buy them all anyway, so it's like whatever for me. But for those of you guys who don't, and I don't blame you, too, because having physical stuff nowadays weighs you down, makes it difficult when you want to move and stuff, so I get it. I totally understand. The MadTV stuff. So I'll put the link in the description for you guys to the MadTV video of Negan with Lucille, and it's pretty funny. They got this guy. He's got like a goatee and everything. He's got like black hair, skinny guy. He's got this guy named Angus, and he's like giving him back massages and stuff like this. It's pretty funny. I wouldn't put it past Negan to have somebody there to give him back massages and stuff. It'd probably be a female though, I would think. Yeah, most likely, but not some big dude named Angus. But it's still funny. I love how they poke fun at the fact that it took so long to actually see who gets killed off and everything, because he's taking his time. They talk about how long they've been there for like months, or what do they say, months or something. And they're just sitting there, and then the Rick impersonator guy, he tells them, why don't you just kill Coral? Everybody hates you. It's so silly. So it's pretty fun. So you guys can check it out for yourselves and like it. I did like it quite a bit. I thought it was pretty funny. And we'll do a couple more questions for the Q&A for today, as usual. Next one's from Walking Dead Is Life, TWDisLife. He said, Trev, please give your thoughts on this. This is the second time I've added this in the comment box, so just asking if you can hear me out. One of the first opening lines to Season 6 by Rick was, we have to come to them before they come to us, or we have to come for them before they come to us, referring to the zombie herd. Rick said the same line to the group in the church when they were debating whether or not they should attack the saviors. Do you believe there is a sort of parallelism here between the herd and the saviors? Well, I think you're right about the line. I think that is kind of cool. And you're right. I mean, the amount of detail they put into the show, sometimes it's surprising to me. And sometimes, just the amount of care they put into certain things in the show, it is astounding. And sometimes when I watch stuff again, I get new meanings from certain lines that they say, or I get new meanings from certain things that they do. And you can even trace that on back to early seasons. Sometimes early stuff will happen in the early seasons, and you'll see maybe beginning of season 2, Rick on the walkie-talkie, and at that time, of course, Morgan was off, being crazy and stuff, and now we see him back again, and it really ties in nicely, and I think they've done a great job overall with really putting a lot of care and a lot of detail into the show, and really just, using a lot of the dialogue to, for example, another parallel, we kill them all, right? That's the governor, of course, and Rick. And it's a very interesting parallel that he says the same thing as the governor, said. And it's like, has Rick become the governor, in this case? And, it's oh man, they do a great job. They really do a great job. And, I really love the amount of effort they put into it. And you're probably right. And maybe there is some kind of parallel between, the herd and the saviors. One would be the amount of numbers that they have as a group. We've never seen that many zombies before as the herd, and we've never seen that many people before as the saviors. The saviors is a huge group. I mean, it's the biggest group we have ever seen, with the most numbers, everything. They have the most everything of anybody. They've got the most weapons. They've got the most... They're just stacked, dude. Negan Saviors are absolutely stacked in the TV series, even more so than in the comics that they were. Yeah. Next one's from Zigar. He says, hey, Trev, Q&A. The way it is set in the TV show, Savior's standard procedure is killing one of the survivors to introduce themselves and to make any group obey. They did it to the hilltop, even though they didn't, or they did it to the hilltop, even though they didn't do anything. The pictures Glenn found at the outpost would suggest the same standard procedure. So why would Negan want to punish Rick's group with his standard procedure? As brutal as it is, I thought the punishment would be a lot harsher. And I thought this was a great comment from Zigar, so I wanted to, or at least question, so I wanted to include it. You're absolutely right. I actually think people are going to hate Negan, of course, for what's going to happen in the premiere and him at least killing one. But I do think he's being pretty lenient on Rick's group by using the standard procedure, by just killing one of them, because Rick and the group have killed so many of of the Saviors at this point. And if Negan realized what he was dealing with Rick's group, then he would just kill them all right now. You know what I mean? He would kill them all right away. But of course, hindsight is 2020, and he has no idea what he's getting into. He has no idea Rick's resolve. He has no idea how tough Rick is and how tricky he is. And he should have some idea for Rick killing those groups without losing, he doesn't really know how that all went down and everything, but still, I mean, they wiped them out, Rick and the group, they wiped out those groups of Saviors that they fought. So really, if you look at it, the reason why Negan and the Saviors have been able to beat them at this point and have them subdued is because of their numbers only. It's not because of skill, it's not because of, any other thing, but the fact that they have the numbers. If they didn't, I think an equal number of Saviors versus Rick's equal number, at this point, Rick going after them, if they didn't know what was coming for them, yeah, Rick would wipe them all out, So he's very smart. He's very tactical, and that Rick's group is tough. I mean, they are really tough, man, in terms of what they've been through and their skill set and everything. Even Michonne, Rick's girl Michonne is super tough. Daryl, everybody, they're really really tough, man, for sure. So Negan's there's too. Dwight's tough too, and Negan's tough too, and I'm sure Simon will be great too. And yeah, absolutely. So we'll get to see some more. A couple more questions. Next one's from Black on Black Iceman. He says, Dear Trev, what characters from the Walking Dead TV series do you see surviving the strain? And if you guys haven't seen the strain, I've done some reviews for it over the years, dating back since season 1. In season 1, I reviewed every episode of it. It's a pretty amazing show too, to be honest. The strain is awesome. And yeah, man, I mean, the strain would be really hard to survive because they have basically what I would consider a combination between zombie, vampire, and mutant type deal. So they have these like stingers and they sting people and oh my god, it's really grotesque and it's really brutal. And check it out if you haven't seen it. But who would survive? I think Rick would do fine because of course he's good with the firearms and everything, so he'd do fine. Daryl would probably do fine too. Characters like that, Michonne would be good. Yeah, they're tough. They're tough if you look at them now. But characters like Andrea, I think she might have been killed off early. You remember how she'd like freak out against like one zombie and almost get killed by it? And then Maggie would ride up on horseback and like hit it with a bat or something. What did she hit it with? Did she hit it with a bat? Something like that. That's way back to season 2. So there'd be a lot of characters that would have been killed off way sooner. And the strain is nasty, man. They're way tougher than just regular zombies. That is for sure. Way, way, way tougher. And it would be interesting to see. I'd like to see how Negan would do. That'd be fine. He may actually join the vampire side, to be honest. So that's kind of the way he is. Ross Johnson says, this will be the last one. Hey, Trev, how do you think the show is going to do the Whisper War? Part 2 of the comics was so much like Battle of the Bastards in Game of Thrones, but I'm not sure if Walking Dead can pull that off with AMC. What are your thoughts? And Robert Kirkman, as far as I know, at least he was a fan of Game of Thrones. I know he likes Game of Thrones, and I do feel like it's affected some of his writing. Like Negan had the joke about the eunuch, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, would he have had that if Game of Thrones never existed? I don't think so. There's also a lot of sword fighting coming up in The Walking Dead, stuff like that, which is amazingly exciting, and I love to see it. And I can't help but think Game of Thrones has had an effect on Walking Dead. I really believe it has. There's a lot of similarities I see, in the storytelling and all kinds of stuff that makes me think that it has. So, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. But the thing is that HBO has a subscription-based system. So they can put $100 million into season 6, which they did. They put $100 million into one season of a show. That's unheard of. AMC, I can't see them putting $100 million into a show. That said, in any show, even if it's their flagship show, Walking Dead, it's probably the biggest show they'll ever have, to be honest. I don't see them putting that kind of money into it, but I think No Way Out was an incredible episode. So they can have some episodes that probably can get close. And as we see the Whisper War, All Out War, I'm expecting to see, AMC continue to up their game and go bigger and bigger and bigger. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get like a 90-minute episode that could rival Game of Thrones Battle of the Bastards or something that big in terms of scale. The problem is money is a big thing, but they've done big zombies now, big numbers of zombies now. So I could see them getting at least close to rivaling it. We'll see how much AMC wants to put into it, how much money they want to go with, and because all these things cost money. If you want to have big environments being destroyed, and you want to have all kinds of craziness and thousands of zombies and stuff like this, it all costs cash. And we'll see. But I think AMC's done a pretty good job of scaling up as they've gone through the seasons. And you got to consider too, Game of Thrones is coming to an end, so that series is winding down in the next 2 years with shortened seasons. So it's going to be short and sweet, just like Breaking Bad was when they ended Breaking Bad. But Walking Dead, it seems like it's going to go on a lot longer, so you're not going to see massive amounts of characters in our main group being killed off. You're not going to see out of the 11 that are sitting there, 7 of them being killed off or 6 of them being killed off, because the show's going to go on for a long time. So as such, it's a different feel, it's a different type of system, but I could see them doing something in All Out War or with the Whisperer War that could rival that. I can see it, but they got to continue that systematic climb, put all the zombies in like in No Way Out, and then maybe have all kinds of other crazy stuff happening, and then you're getting something that could be. So I think it has the potential, but Battle of the Bastards is pretty much perfect. And it is hard to beat perfect, especially when you're not going to go long running. So that's going to be tough. That would be tough for any show to take on. And we'll see how they do. I think tonight's the Emmys, isn't it? So we'll see what happens at the Emmys tonight. I think we already know what's going to happen, to be honest with you. I love Walking Dead, though, regardless. I don't care if they never win, any major Emmys or whatever. They do win some big ones, but they usually don't clean up, at the Emmys. So, but we'll see. Anyway, that'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. Of course, check back tonight for Fear the Walking Dead. Don't forget, write your comments below on what you guys think on all the different questions we've answered. The strain, how would our survivors handle it? How do you feel about The Walking Dead ever doing a huge episode like that maybe cost, $20 million for one episode? Let's see if they'll ever do that. I don't know. Check out Netflix, of course, Walking Dead on Netflix. Let me know what you think about Tara, and any parallels for The Walking Dead that you can think of, you can write in the comments below. That's it for this Q&A today, guys. I hope you liked it. If you did, please don't forget to thumb it up below. You can also share. You can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, you can subscribe at the bottom left. That's it for this video today. I'll see you guys again soon. For now, as always, it's Trev. I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See ya. You better subscribe.